Uh-oh, mama, did you just eat your toddler's leftovers again? Caught you. Ha, no worries, you're in a safe space because I've totally been there. I'm also curious, are you sick of just floating through week to week, surviving on cheap carbs and finishing your kids' dinners and, well, just ultimately feeling like crap? Better yet, do you wish you had some help being able to balance creating some healthy eating habits for the whole family without it taking so much time and energy? Well, guess what? I've got 5 quick hacks for you that you can do that I guarantee probably already flow with what you're already doing in your everyday life. And if not, they're probably just simple adjustments you can do and make this week. So have faith, mama. Your entire family is about to get the boost that it needs in the kitchen and in your soul. Let's go for it. Let's plan this out step by step. Hey mama, welcome to Mom Nation. Do you want a better work-life balance and more time and energy? Do you find yourself thinking, how can I add more hours into the day? Or Googling, how to deal with mom guilt and can my marriage survive toddlers? Do you wake up with big goals only to feel overwhelmed and alone and you have no one to help you and your littles aren't listening to you again? Hey, I'm Cheyanne. I too was an exhausted mom away from my family. I too felt drained with a strong-willed toddler and wished I could find balance between being a wife, mom, stepmom, and entrepreneur. I wanted more energy to give my husband, to discipline my kids well, and incorporate Jesus into our home. But I kept telling myself that I just couldn't do it without a community around me. Until I found balance and confidence in raising Jesus-loving littles. In this podcast, you will find time and energy management help, tips for disciplining, and what to do when you have no village, so that you will find balance between all of your roles and trust your own mom tuition. Time to grab those headphones, mama, pour that green smoothie, and get ready to be mom-inspired. You're no longer alone. All right, let's go, ladies. So you're a busy mom, you want to eat healthy, you want your family to eat healthy, but you're a little overwhelmed with all of these decisions you have to make. That is what I'm here for, and I've promised you 5 hacks. So here we go. I hope you've got a pen and paper, or if you're like me, you've got your notes open on your phone because I've got 5 of them that you can write down and do right away. And we're going to start off with tip hack number 1. Number 1, first and foremost, is that I'm going to recommend that you start meal prepping and do it on your open or your free day. For some families, this looks like a weekend day. So Saturdays or Sundays, whatever day that you have a good 2 or 3 hours that you can dedicate to the all-around meal prepping, that is where you want to dive in. Now, of course, this can feel very overwhelming, shy. What do you mean meal prepping? I hear this, it sounds cool. I see it on my Pinterest, but what does that mean? What I'm meaning is you want to prep 3 different dishes or 3 different meals tops. So we're not thinking of having those little containers where you have everybody's meal prepped out for the entire week. If you can do that, great. But again, we're starting with the basics. So first and foremost, what you need to do is create a meal plan list. Create a list of meals that you want to have the following week or even the next week if you want to get a little bit ahead. Now, I'm speaking to you, mom of littles, but if you have older kids or even your 4 or 5-year-olds, encourage them to help with the meal planning. Whether it's asking them for creative ideas, involving them, asking them what is it they want to eat that week, or if it's just as simple as having them come help you in the kitchen, you'll notice that you'll feel a lot less stressed, your kids will feel a lot more involved, and you'll begin to have those healthy conversations around food, around healthy eating, and why you're doing this to begin with. If you're struggling with where to start, one big suggestion I have for you is to start with some things that you can cook in bulk that can be used for several meals. Things like rice, quinoa, couscous. These are a lot of side dishes. Sometimes they're the side to the meat or the protein, the main portion. These you can cook in bulk. You can put on the stove and actually walk away for a little bit so you don't have to dedicate all that time in the kitchen. And then you can store in big containers in your refrigerator so that when it's time to portion them out for the meals, whether it's your kids' lunches or for dinner, it's already good to go. Some of those things like couscous, you don't even have to warm up later. So it really, once once you pre-cook it, once you're prepping it, it's already good to go. I'd also suggest that you create things on these days that are easy grab, on the go type things like oatmeal muffins or protein energy bars or protein energy balls. And don't worry if you're like, yes, that's something I need, but where the heck do I find that stuff? Well, I'm making it super easy for you today because I've posted a link to a few of my favorite recipes that I make for my family in the show notes below. All right, you made it through hack number 1. So now we're on to hack number 2. Here we go. So hack number 2, again, to help you have a more healthy balance in your life, to create healthy eating habits for the whole family, is take the pressure off of yourself and prep your kids' school lunches the night before. I know so many moms that I have helped in the past when I was doing my online health and fitness coaching. They would say how stressed they were in the morning because they had to get up, get themselves ready, get their kids ready, pack the school bags, pack the school lunches, get people dressed. And so one way that you can save the time and energy and make sure that you have the time and energy to really invest in what your kids are eating at school every day is prep the night before. Then there's no mad dash in the morning, and you can really take control over what they're eating and making sure that they have a good, healthy meal. Now, I know sometimes it's the last thing you also want to worry about when you put your kids to bed at night. Maybe it's 8:30, 9 p.m., and you've got 2 or 3 lunches to make. I promise you that by meal prepping and having those ready-to-go items, it can be much simpler than you can imagine. With my son, now that he's in preschool, I will take 5 minutes to prep his little containers the night before so that in the morning, all I have to do is put it in his backpack. I know exactly what he's having. If he asks me, I can very eloquently explain to him and share with him and show him, hey buddy, this is what we're having. There's even times where I've involved him in the packing of his lunch the night before. Of course, sometimes I choose not to because then he wants to eat it right then and there. But it just gives me a good conscience, a good peace of mind knowing the next morning, okay, I'm good to go. It's that same principle of kind of laying your clothes out the night before so that you don't have to stress about knowing what is your kid going to wear, what are you wearing. When their lunch is prepped, when you've got that food ready to go, then you know, okay, my kid's good, they're going to eat healthy, and even if they don't eat it all, what's coming home is going to be healthy food and I can feel good about it. Mom guilt eradicated. Look at you, mama. We are almost halfway. We are on to hack number 3. Hack number 3 for how to have healthy habits the whole family can enjoy and adjust to is to always have smoothie ingredients on hand in your kitchen. No matter what, in my kitchen, I always have the smoothie basics. It is one of the easiest ways that I get good nutrition into my littles, into my teenager, into myself, especially right now as I am a pregnant mama at the recording of this episode. It is so important that I have the basics so that I can easily just whip things into the blender, get it going, and have an easy, ready-to-go meal or snack on the go in probably 3 minutes time. So what does this look like? Well, first and foremost, I have my protein powder on a monthly auto ship. I quickly learned that when my son, especially who's now almost 3 years old, when he was starting to not eat a lot of his protein sources, he's not a huge fan of meat, that I needed to be responsible to put more protein in his system. I realized that a protein powder was going to be one of the best ways to do so, and it was a lot on my head to remember to always keep up with the protein that we were consuming, as my husband and I both also love protein, especially when we go to the gym. So I just made it simple and put it on a monthly auto ship for our family. It is one of the best investments we've made because protein powder you can also make several things on. So not just smoothie, but you can also make the oatmeal muffins that I have in the link below. Just wanted to remind you of that. But you can also make things like protein pancakes, protein balls, protein muffins, protein cakes, a little bit of everything. So protein powder on monthly auto ship might be just a free little hack right there. I'd also suggest that you just always have some kind of a liquid on hand. And I think the healthiest option would be to have a milk. Now, what's great about plant-based milk is that you can actually keep these in your cupboard or your cabinet, unlike cow's milk that always has to stay refrigerated, where if you want to buy in bulk plant-based milk, my family and I, we often have oat milk, almond milk, coconut milk, rice milk, a little bit of everything in the cupboard so that we always have a fresh supply that we can just throw it in with water with our protein powder into the smoothie. Also, having frozen fruit is always a good idea, especially if you have picky eaters who want something a little more sweet. And something that is a great little tip to do is when you have those leftovers from your toddlers, when they don't finish all of their, say, apples or bananas, or even their maybe old veggies, maybe they're not big fans of carrots or the avocado or the spinach you've given them, save them, freeze them, and create little smoothie bags that, again, in less than 30 seconds, you can open the freezer and dump that in a blender and make an immediate yummy snack or even meal for you or for your family that you can actually have right there, or you can even take on the go with you. And speaking of on the go with you, we've made it to hack number 4. Hack number 4 is to create a cooler bag with healthy snacks. Now, where is this for? The car, of course, mamas. How often are we in the car? I know when you're a mom of littles, sometimes it can feel like you live in your car, or you're in that carpool lane, or you're always running your kids around here and from school and activities and doctor's appointments and things like that. So what you should do is go ahead and create a bag that you can keep in the car at all times. You can throw in there and stuff it things like granola bars, rice crackers, dried fruit, cheese in the plastic, like things that won't spoil, especially in the summertime. Now, if you live in a place with 4 seasons like I do in Belgium, you could also throw in a lot more typically perishable items like apples and pears and bananas. I mean, the list is endless when you've got a literal cooler in your car when it's nice and cool outside. This is just a great way so that no matter where you're at, no matter how long you're out and about, no matter how hungry you are in the car, it really helps you stay away from feeling like you have to stop and get food, fast food, or go into a store and either overspend or buy sugary things when you're out on the go. Another tip would be to always keep water in the car. I don't know about you, but there's been several times that I've been out and about and something's happened where I've had to go stop, drop, and go get my bonus daughter somewhere, or I had to drive across town unexpectedly, and I've been much longer in a car than expected, and myself and my son have been very, very, very thirsty, and it is miserable when someone is thirsty and does not have the water that they need. So again, keeping that water in the car is always a great idea so that you and your child stays hydrated and feels good, because I swear a hydrated kid is a happy kid, and we want to keep you guys both that way. All right, believe it or not, mama, here we are. We're at the last final tip that I have for you today. So hack number 5 is to have leftovers at least 3 times a week. Say what? Yes, mama, I am telling you to take that pressure off. Give yourself permission to be that boring mom. I know we all want to be that Pinterest mom that makes all the beautiful recipes and has the well-balanced meals, but the secret is, I'm going to tell you right now, that no mom in the real world can keep up with that. I promise you. I know that routines can be so boring, but they're also the way to success. Think about over your life right now, how many times has routines helped you get to where you want to go? Think of the goals you've achieved in life. How have you gotten there? Probably following a few rules and a few routines. So just know that it is so important for you to give yourself that routine here. Give yourself that gift. Take that pressure off. And if you think about it, if you do leftovers 3 times a week, that means you still have 2 or 4 potential times a week for creativity. But in this way, when you say and you make a rule, okay, we're doing leftovers 3 times a week. We're going to have the same meal, basically is what I'm saying, 3 times a week. You're going to give yourself a break. You're going to take that pressure off to always have to cook something new or be in the kitchen long hours or create that well balance. And you also set up the right expectations for your kids and for your husband as well, that they know, okay, this week we're going to have this meal 3 times, or we're going to have these 3 meals a few times this week. So in order to make sure that this goes from just a goal to actually something accomplished in your life, I want you to create a list for this upcoming week specifically for dinner ideas. Don't focus on breakfast or all the in-betweens. Right now, let's just focus on dinner, which is when a lot of families end up spending time around the dinner table together or having at least the same meal. So what I want you to do, create a list and list only 3 ideas. Yes, mama. I know that there are 7 times for dinners in a week, but I want you to list only 3 ideas because one of them you're going to repeat 3 times. Okay. Now on the weekends, you can have a little more wiggle room, right? You can be a little more creative and you can have more help. Maybe that's the time when, your husband's at home or you get together with your family. Maybe you don't even have to cook on the weekend. What a joy that is. Whatever and however it flows with your family is most important. Now, I know that creating a list is one thing, but knowing what the heck to put on the list is a whole nother thing. So if you need help with ideas, no worries there. I would love to introduce you to my private group for moms of littles, moms just like you who are trying to balance all the things between work, family, life, and just being a woman in today's world, all with that mindset of raising Jesus-loving littles. We've got a place for you, and my group very often is sharing all of our favorites, including recipes, meal plans, workouts, all of that great stuff that helps a mom be the healthiest that she can be. We'd love you to come join us. It is a completely free and private group. You can find us at momnationcommunity.com. And if you happen to be driving right now or on the go, no worries. There's a link for you in the show notes below. Go ahead and click on it, and we look forward to seeing you there. Hey mama, so what did you think? 5 hacks. Totally doable, right? I'm so curious to know which hacks you're going to incorporate into your life. And one of the best ways you can do that for me is hopping on over to Apple Podcasts and leave me a rating and a review. And tell me in your review which hack spoke to you the most. In fact, this is really the only way I know which content you enjoy. And ultimately, when you tell me what you enjoy, then it helps me grow the show and make sure that I give more content and more episodes specifically suited to your needs, because that's what I'm all about, mama. I'm all about helping fellow moms of littles grow and feel that support that they need, that you deserve, and that you will get from coming and growing with this podcast. Thank you again for listening to this episode. I look forward to seeing you on a future one. And until then, here's a big virtual hug. With all the overwhelming and hard choices a new mom has to make, where you get you and your baby's top-notch nutrition shouldn't be one of them. Ever since I first began my fertility journey, I've trusted one place with all of my women's wellness needs. A company and brand that truly goes above and beyond with their cleaning and natural products. I mean, they even pray over their supplements. Yep. I'm talking about Pink Stork, a woman-owned, American-based women's wellness company that has products for every area of a woman's needs. Everything from fertility, pregnancy, prenatal, postnatal, nursing, menopause, to even a brand new line of men's fertility products and vitamin drops for babies. See why it's my one-stop shop, mama? I can shop in peace and good vibes when I have Pink Stork in my shopping cart. And so can you. Go check out my own link below or visit holyhealthyhappymama.com/pinkstork to check out my personal favorites list and grab yourself 15% off with code CheyanneC15. You won't be disappointed.